The meeting of the subcommittee is called to order, and I'll first recognize myself. The subcommittee is meeting today to review the new breast cancer screening recommendations issued by the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force just a few weeks ago. By now, I'm sure everyone in this room is familiar with the new guidelines, or at least we're familiar with the controversy surrounding them. From what I've heard from my constituents, friends, family members, and academic institutions in my district, there are a lot of questions, frustration, and confusion around these new recommendations. The controversy that was ignited by the report may be eclipsing what the report actually says. And this is the reason why I'm holding this hearing today. It's time for all of our questions to be answered. We want a clear understanding of what the report did and didn't say, and what others have to say about the report. Ms. Visco.
Thank you. I'm Fran Visco, President of the National Breast Cancer Coalition and a 22-year breast cancer survivor. As you know, NBCC is a coalition of hundreds of groups from around the country dedicated to our mission to end breast cancer. One of our roles is to train advocates to understand the process, concepts, and language of scientific research. We analyze scientific information for our members and the public from the perspective of lay advocates. Our number one priority for many years has been guaranteeing access to quality health care to everyone. We believe we cannot achieve our mission without it. We've been working with Congress and the administration on this goal based on our framework for access to quality health care, developed over a number of years of hard work by our grassroots leadership, and a key component of that framework is making certain that trained consumers have a seat at every table where decisions are made in health care policy. We believe in evidence-based approaches to health care as a key to quality care. So what is the evidence behind mammography screening? As we are all well aware, and as many people have said, mammography has significant limitations, and there has been much controversy over the years about screening programs. At what age are they effective? How do we balance risk and benefits? How can we communicate the very real limitations of screening and the harms associated with it? In 1997, an NIH consensus conference recommended against routine screening of women under the age of 50, but political and outside organizational pushback, not evidence, torpedoed that recommendation. So in fact, we have known the issues with screening for decades. We also know that 40,000 women will die of breast cancer this year. Tens of millions of people in this country are uninsured. Many, many millions lack access to quality care. We know we have a great deal of work to do to fix this situation. We know that breast cancer is a complex disease, that while we have learned more about the biology of the disease, in the 4 decades since mammography screening programs have been instituted, we have not yet learned how to detect life-threatening breast cancer at a point where we can make a difference, how to cure it for every woman, how to prevent it. Given all of this, we were frankly stunned at the reaction of the media and many in the cancer community and in government to the task force recommendations. The task force is a body of the right experts who look carefully at updated evidence and objectively made recommendations not that different from their prior recommendations. Given all of this, the amount of time and attention given to these revised recommendations seems just a bit unseemly. The public has increasingly put their faith in screening and early detection, even though we've never had good evidence that this would have a significant impact. But too many did not want to highlight the known limitations of mammography. They wanted simple messages. Once a year for a lifetime, early detection saves lives. The overemphasis on the importance of screening caused some people to state over and over again that mammograms prevent breast cancer. And please, let's be very clear, mammograms do not prevent breast cancer. We had hoped that the task force recommendations would cause all of us to stop and think about screening, take the time to look carefully at the evidence, and put screening and its limitations into proper perspective, and that can still happen. It's important also to put this in the context of the population we're screening. Screening programs are for a healthy population, for the millions and millions of women, the vast majority of whom will never get breast cancer. The question then is how we devise a screening program that appropriately balances risks and benefits for these healthy women. So what did the task force actually say? To women in their 40s, they said there are benefits and harms from mammography screening that you should know about, and you should make an individual decision at what age you will begin a screening program. So the task force actually recommends giving women control over their own health care decisions. On self-examination, Dr. Brawley pointed out that the self-examination touched on by the task force is that routine, regimented, monthly search for cancer. It has been represented as saying that women shouldn't know their bodies. Of course they should. This isn't about that. Some are concerned that the new guidelines will prevent underserved women from entering the medical system at all, and we would counter that the solution to that is to enact universal access to health care for all, not to depend on a faulty test that exposes women to radiation and the risks of false positives in order to get them to a doctor. Disadvantaged women deserve the same access as all other women to quality, evidence-based care and the right information. We do need to move forward because none of this is good enough for women. We can use this, and we should have used this, as an opportunity to educate the public about science, about evidence-based care, to help alleviate the unwarranted fear, not feed it. Some argue that public health messages need to be simple, and changing guidelines will confuse women. We would argue that while messages need to be simple, they need to be truthful. Women deserve the facts. We've all heard from women over the past month who are outraged and who believe that a mammogram saved their life. These anecdotes are not evidence. They may be compelling soundbite, great media stories, but they're not evidence on which we should base this nation's public health agenda. That should be based on the type of scientific work done by the task force. We can't believe in science only when we like the answers it produces. I want to end with an anecdote. Carolina Hinestrosa was the executive vice president of the National Breast Cancer Coalition, and her breast cancer was detected early, in her late 30s. Probably was not life-threatening, and she had treatment. She died this past June as the result of her treatment. Her story and all of the anecdotes just tell us how little we know about breast cancer, how we need to be so very careful about evidence and push for the right answers, no matter how unhappy we are with what those answers are. Let's save our outrage for the reality that we know too little and women deserve so much more. Thank you.